You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
What's up, the internet? It's producer Kyle. Did you guys know I trademarked that catchphrase, what's up, the internet? T-shirts coming soon exclusively on The Experience's merch shop when I can figure out a design I like. Maybe I should have the next our guest on Talking Shop today design the T-shirt because I know I'll like it. Normally this would be Miss Jen's gig, but she is a little busy right now, being as it's Labor Day, and she has to labor in her store. So I'm laboring here with you. And, you know, belaboring the point of the cold open, I think, at this point. So, without further ado, Jay's going to press the button and play the thing, but I'm very excited to bring on our guest. He is my big brother and yours. Comics are for everyone, the too cartoony one. Seth the Moose will be with us right after the break. Stick around. Oh, what's up, the internet? Welcome into Talking Shop. I'm producer Kyle. That's Seth the Moose. You're beyond him in the comments. What up, Triple B? Sitting on the couch, making sure it doesn't go anywhere. It is Labor Day, which is the only reason we can get this guy here because he's super busy otherwise.
I do try.
Yeah. So, we're gonna do this the backwards way of how we normally do this. Let's start with the project and then work our way backwards to other stuff. You are a part of a massively important book that comes out this week.
I've been told. Yeah. It's you want me to start? It is the 400th issue of Star Trek from IDW comes out on Wednesday. This is the convention exclusive cover, so you probably won't find this one in the stores. I should have grabbed a different comp. But I did a short story written by the one and only Declan Shalvey. And we are the second story in the book, and it's an awesome, amazing book. There's stories by Will Wheaton, Chris Eliopoulos. I think I said his name wrong.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So yeah, it's a ton of fun. It was a great experience to work with Declan and work with IDW. Heather Antos was the editor on the whole project, at least on my end, at least. So that was a ton of fun. I'd never done anything with IDW before, and I feel pretty darn special to be involved in this milestone issue of a franchise that it's been around a minute.
So I haven't seen any of it yet because you won't show me.
No, you go wait till Wednesday.
Right, you got to wait for the book to come out. Did you have the opportunity to draw the Borg Collective?
No, I did not do a Borg story.
I'd like to see your take on a Borg at some point. Just throw that in the commission list.
Right. Well, and after Wednesday, I may be doing more Star Trek type commissions. So we'll see. I don't think I've ever drawn the Borg, even for fun. So this could be good.
So is this the first time you've worked on this kind of licensed product?
Yes. Yes, this is the first major licensed product I've ever worked on. Most of my things have been creator owned or owned by friends, and I worked on them with them or in collaboration with them. So yeah, this is the first time outside of private commissions that I've drawn a major IP, I suppose is the word, right?
So what are some of the challenges with that? Like it's got to be harder than just like some people probably know you from Floppy Cop.
Yeah,
which is a book that's, an absurd amount, I'm sure, of fun to draw and work on. But it's such an absurd book. What are some of the challenges of like having to, draw people that everyone knows what they look like?
That was tricky. And I made sure when they had reached out and asked if I'd wanted to be a part of it, I said, you know who you're talking to, right? Like, this isn't going to be photorealistic. I'm not Alex Ross. I'm not Brian Hitch. It's going to be an interpretation of these characters. And they said, no, that's exactly what we're looking for, is different visions, different styles, different flavors for everybody to kind of get into it. So there were some preliminary sketches that I had done as sort of a tryout that got sent into what's affectionately known as the Star Trek folks. That all had to go for go through approval. Several people, like a whole committee of people at the Star Trek end of things, meet every Monday. So it would be turn in drawings or sketches or pages or thumbnails every step of the way, and wait until the following Monday night or Tuesday morning before I'd hear back on whether or not we can go forward with anything. So yeah, that was a bit different because I've had the liberty of, like I said, working with friends or working on my own creator-owned stuff, that there was no real approval process. It was, oh, you want to do that? Let's just go ahead and do that then. So that was definitely different. I don't know if it was a struggle, but it was different for me.
So can you tell us who some of the characters are in the story that you and Deck put together?
There are Cardassians. I'll leave it at that.
Kim or Kanye?
Or Cardassians? Did I say it wrong? I said
no.
It
You said it right, but every time I hear the word Kardashian,
yeah, no, it's Kim.
I can't help but make a joke.
It's Kim. Yeah, we went full Kim.
I appreciate that. No, so when it comes to this, and again, you're not doing a full, this is a 68-page book.
Yes.
With like 4 stories or 5 stories in it. So you're doing a mini story.
Yeah, it's just a short 8-page story was all we did.
So how did that working relationship go? Did Declan send you a script and he's just like, draw this, or was it collaborative, or was it plotted and then you did it and then he figured it out? How did you guys work together?
He had a script and he had pitched to IDW. He had been wanting to do something like this for some time. So he had a script already put together. And then I was approached to do the art on it. So I was handed a full script. And once I read it, I started talking with Declan and with Heather, and we went over notes, and then it kind of went from there. So it was real different, a different kind of approach again for me to come in, and everything was done except for my part, essentially.
Well, and you're real fast, so I feel like you had like 8 pages done in about 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little longer than that just because of the approval process.
Sure.
And that was actually even kind of funny too, because I don't really, I ink all of my own stuff. So my pencils have gotten sloppier and less detailed throughout, the process and over time. So what I had done is basically thumbnailed all 8 pages, or really rough penciled, turned those in for approval. They all got approved. And I said, okay, now do I have to do full pencils, or can I just go in and start inking? And it was, I was warned that if I go ahead and start inking, just know that things may end up needing adjustment or need to be changed. And I said, yeah, that's fine. I'll cover up. I'll make it work because I can draw so fast. So yeah, I went straight from thumbnails to inks pretty quick.
And so you went from rough thumbnails to inks pretty quick, and then you had this big long book that's got to be put together. How long ago were you actually doing this project?
Honestly, it was June. I think I was one of the last folks to get involved, and they sort of wedged us into the book. I think that's partially why it might have been a shorter story. But yeah, it was early to mid-June I got the script.
I'm so excited. Like I'm just sitting here kind of like, what other questions can I ask him without kind of just like spewing?
Maybe I'll send you a couple of pages later.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know we're reading this book for review tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
So that'll be super fun. Is there a licensed product you have on the horizon that you're like, aha, now that you've done one, is there one you really want to play with some more?
I would love to dip my toes into the Star Wars world. As much fun as I had with Star Trek, and I would love to go back and do more Star Trek because it was so fun. But as a kid growing up, even as a grown-up kid right now, Star Wars is my wheelhouse. That's where my heart lies. You know what I mean? So I would love to play in that world, but I'd almost rather go and do maybe something of the old expanded universe for Star Wars, right? Something not necessarily the main characters that everybody's going to know. I like those backstories and behind the scenes stories. That's always been sort of my jam. Yeah, but I mean, really, not having done a whole lot of licensed properties, I think any of them would be fun. I'd love to have a crack at all of them if I could. Ninja Turtles would be on the top of my list for sure. That just scratch an itch, from a 12-year-old kid dreaming.
Absolutely. So, I mentioned Floppy Cop, and then there was Savants,
Yep.
Which was a big deal and is still maybe my favorite thing you've ever done.
Oh, thank you.
But there's a book coming with the one, the only Bob Sally.
Yes.
That I'm very excited for. And I'm going to walk right over there to that desk and grab something. And so I'm going to make you full screen. Tell people about this project you have with Bob.
So this project with Bob and I had been talking for a few years now and wanting to work together, and it just never worked out with timing. And he reached out recently, probably about 3 weeks ago, I guess, and asked if I had some time on the schedule, and I did. And here we are with a script he had written over a year ago about a single dad who is trying to raise his kids and be a good dad and work his day job and also be a superhero. So the book is going to be called Father Figure. We've already gotten a cover from Mr. J.P. Fosgate. I will be doing a second cover or another cover for it, but as of now, it's a single issue standalone that Bob is pitching to publishers, as well as planning on, I believe, a Kickstarter campaign once everything's all wrapped up. But it's a real heartwarming, touching story of a single father superhero.
So I went and got something, and we were talking about licensed property that I think I want you to maybe you don't play with. And I have maybe the oldest piece of art of yours that I own that isn't framed.
Oh, sure. The G.I. Joe. I remember that. That was one of the Toledo shows, wasn't it?
2015.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, can we talk about how long ago that was for this not to be framed?
Yeah, that's all right. I mean,
but so for those of you who maybe aren't so familiar with Seth's work, this is some stylistic. And then I have another one, something I'm going to send to our guest from last week's show.
Yes, my big chunky Batman from the Dark Knight. I love.
Well, in this slot last week was Dan DiDio. And I'm going to send a picture of this to him when I send him his video clip.
Oh, let me know.
Hey, I know a guy you should hire.
Right, right. Yeah, I was trying to do my best cartoony version of Frank with that one.
Yeah, it's true. So, Father Figure. So you are a dad, and so is Bob. How much of your own lives are you putting into the book?
Well, I think it's unavoidable. I'd say probably more than we should share. Certain mannerisms, certain looks, certain aspects of it. It's going to come through just because you have to work with what you know. So I would say quite a bit, but I don't know for Bob. I can't speak for Bob, but I know even from my standpoint, I put a lot of myself in everything.
Sure.
Again, just because it's easiest to work with what you know.
We always make the joke that moms don't get angry, they just get disappointed, which is mom for angry.
Yes.
And then dads don't get disappointed, they just get angry, which is dad for disappointed. Uh-huh. So I'm anxious to see the take from both of you guys on that. What else do you have going on? I know there were some other projects that you and I had just recently talked about that I hadn't heard about.
Yes.
That maybe are a little bit delayed, but what else is happening?
I did the second issue of Emerald Quest, Mike Watson's Emerald Quest, which was just a successful Kickstarter, and I believe is going to print shortly. That was a ton of fun. Sword and sorcery, fantasy. It's a great book that Mike's put together with a great team of people and got me involved to do issue 2. Hopefully I'll be involved with issue 4 when we get to that point, because 3 is also done and in the bag with a different artist. But that was a ton of fun. I had a great time scratching that itch, I guess. I've done some covers here and there for Brian Rodman and his Memoirs of an Angel, as well as the Nebulizer comics that he did through Kickstarter. I've done a couple of pinups for Oh shoot, what was the name of the one I just did? I did another one for a book called The Thinning Veil, Richard Powell, or Pow. I think that's how you say it. I've never met him in person, so I don't know. It says I'm just reading it on the internet.
Sure.
That was a fun cover to do. I did a pinup for Dan's new Touching Evil 2 Kickstarter graphic novel. That was fun. Should be in the back. I'm trying to think. I always draw a blank when it comes to this stuff.
Well, I mean, that's what you have people like me and other people for. But something else you do that's worth noting, especially to the people who watch this, is on Tuesday nights at 8:00. You are on a very fun web show called Call It a Draw.
Yes, I have a hat.
Yeah, I noticed. Thanks for the hat, buddy.
We made a few of them. I've only got the one.
Well, that's fair.
So it's Kaylin Smith, Jay Fosgett, Dan Doherty, DJ Corchin, and I. And we basically do every Tuesday night a sketch comedy, kind of like Whose Line Is It Anywhere, only with pencils and paper. So it's usually a prompt that DJ, the host, gives to the four of us, and we have usually 2 to 5 minutes to draw whatever the prompt is and be as silly and fun as we possibly can. So it's a good time. It's good fun. It's not always, well, it's usually not age appropriate, so it's not a kids type of show. There's some cussies, and I've heard there's some drinking games that have been created around the show already. So that's a good time.
And if you've ever been around that group of individuals at all, my ab hurts. I only have the one, but I laugh so much when I'm around them, my abs hurt. So it's worth checking out if you're not watching me and Dan and Jay talk about comic books.
We'd love to have you.
We're on at the same time. So usually they're on my phone while I'm doing my own show. So,
right.
So one of the other things, and this is, we met for the first time at Chicago at C2E2 at what must have been 2014, 15, 2014?
13 or 14. That sounds about
13
right.
or 14?
Yeah.
You don't do a ton of conventions anymore, but when you do, your commission list always fills up real quick and you're always super busy.
Yeah.
So where should people be looking for you either the rest of this year or into next year if you're not doing anything more this year?
The next show I'm doing is, well, we've got a live show for Call It a Draw and we're doing that in Chicago. I can't think of the name of the venue. DJ would be so disappointed in me right now. But as far as conventions go, there are tickets available. So I'll have to send you a link to where people can get tickets in Chicago. But I'll be doing the Grand Rapids Comic-Con in November, and that's it for me this year. So yeah, I really I never did a whole lot to begin with, but I scaled it back even further this year.
Yeah. So then next year it'll be Cherry Capital, which the experience will be at, and
Yep.
I can say that with absolute certainty because I know what will happen if you say no.
Yeah,
Pat
no,
Koala,
I'll be at
who's
that show.
Yeah, Pat Koala, who has been on the experience before, will come and destroy your village.
Yes. So. Well, I've threatened him that even if he doesn't invite me, I'll be at that show. I'm planning on I'd hope to be back to C2E2 next spring. I'd like to do Motor City in the spring again. I did that again this year. I don't know. There's talks, maybe a Cincinnati show next year. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. I liked not doing shows this year, not because I don't like doing shows, but I got a lot of work done, which is good because if you don't have anything new to show at a show, then there's no reason to go to a show.
Right.
So this year I spent a long time putting little projects together and little covers and just keeping busy so that there would be something to have at shows.
Is your commission list something that is active at the moment?
Yes, little secret that is not so secret. My commission list is always open.
So how do people get a hold of you if they want to commission
Well, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Seth Demoose. I'm on Twitter at Demoose Seth. You can email dam.inc, dam.inkllc at Gmail, and we can go from there. Yep, see, Kyle's got quite a few that he's picked up from me over the years.
What was the count?
Let's see.
We had done a count at one point. I think it's like 27.
Is it really?
28, wow. Something like that.
There's a recent Sandman I did for the Sandman folks.
I see.
That one's got to get shipped out yet.
You can't really go wrong with Seth's commission list.
No, and they're a ton of fun. And the pricing for the commissions includes all the shipping in the US. So it's just one number, and try to keep it easy, keep it simple.
I'm worried that the frame is going to fall all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
Yeah. Amanda will kill me. So in the meantime, you mentioned all the places where you can get on the commission list. And we've talked about everything that's coming out. You mentioned before we went on the air that you're not great at promoting yourself, and I'm so good. We did it all faster than we should have.
Right. We're killing too much, not enough time.
So let's remind people, Star Trek 400 from IDW. You want to show them that pretty con exclusive cover?
Yes, there's the con exclusive cover.
Here, I'm gonna go like this.
There we go.
Yeah,
it's nice and pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and pretty. And yeah, it's a big book. It's a big beefy book. So it's
in stores on Wednesday.
There's a sneak peek of the first page that I did.
Oh, there you go.
I suppose you can see who it is right there. That's O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Little teaser.
Nice. Picard with hair is still weird to me. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
See that.
So, I guess I'm just going to ask this super fun question that has nothing to do with anything now.
All right.
If you could tell a Star Trek story in this book, knowing what the story is you did with Declan,
mm-hmm.
what kind of story would you like to tell? I mean, because you've had a little bit of experience with writing a story in that you finished Savants with Gary.
Yeah.
But like, what would you want to do?
Oh, I would do, I guess I would play more in the vein like I did with this one with Declan, in that it's historic details that open the window to what we know now as part of continuity, I guess. So like the backstory, not like an origin story, but just kind of fill in the gaps in between parts of the story, the main part of the story. I like that. I like the little details and the little character moments, and I have a lot of fun with that. And I find it interesting, like, oh, this happened because of this, and this, but we don't have to see this in like the main movie or the main show. But I like having that filler information in things like these comics.
Very cool. All right. Well, one last time, remind everybody where they can get on the commission list, where they can follow you, where they can support you, where they can do all of the things.
Reach out on Instagram. It's at Seth Demoose. On Twitter, it is at Demoose Seth. You can find me on Facebook. I've got an Art of Damn Inc. Fan page. You can reach out on there. It's got all my email information, or you can get in my DMs and we can sort it out that way too. So yeah, I'm out there.
Perfect. All right. Well, this Wednesday, Star Trek 400, father figures soon to be on the Kickstarter crowdfunder platforms. We will have Seth and Bob on when that launches, I'm sure, on one of our Kickstarter shows.
Oh, that'd be good.
And we look forward to seeing what's happening, man. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm sorry you had to talk to me and not Miss Jen.
No, it's always good to talk to you, though. It's fun.
Right, but we talk like all the time. It's like,
we do.
It's not special.
We do. I miss Jen.
I recognize that.
It's good.
I recognize that talking to me is not special.
No, it is special. Come on now. We make it a big deal. We solve the world's problems usually when we talk.
It's true. We usually wind up talking for like 3 hours about nothing.
Yeah. Those are the best conversations.
Right. It usually just winds up with us quoting like Pearl Jam lyrics and, you remember that guy from that thing doing that other thing?
Yep.
He was on what we're talking about?
Yep. I know the guy.
So, all right, buddy. Dan Mink all over the social medias. Just search that and you'll find him. Yes. DAMINK.
Good deal.
And we will see everybody next time for Talking Shop, where Miss Jen will be back and I won't be here, which will be a good thing for everyone.
Oh, it's too fun. All right.
See you later.
Thank you.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at the experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox.